Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with mail day number 14. This is probably the biggest mail day I've done on this channel. As you know, we usually scroll through my vault, which we're going to do, and I show you, the cards that I've purchased that have arrived at my vault, just so I can give you an idea of the type of cards that I'm collecting. Sometimes we go from the super, lucrative, high-end, exorbitant cost cards, which have been rising lately, but I still dumpster dive, which is really fun to do as well. Today's a little bit different. I'm actually going to try to hold these two cards up in front of the camera and tell you a little quick story about these. I picked these two up. I don't know if you guys can see them. They're raw cards, but I picked these up. Let's see. There we go. Two Skylar Mays National Treasures, true RPA, 3-color patches, numbered to 99. You're probably asking yourself, what the heck is Cajun Cardboard collecting Skylar Mays? Well, number one, he's a kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Number two, he played for LSU. Number three, I got a chance to coach him, and he played with my son growing up in our local AAU program here in town. Just for those of you who don't know about him, he's a really good-looking prospect, good-looking player. He's probably the third point guard on the Atlanta Hawks right now. Obviously, not going to be a lot of opportunity playing behind Trae Young because he eats up a lot of minutes, but I do think he has a long career ahead of him in the NBA. He is an absolutely brilliant offensive player. He's got plus size for a point guard at about 6'4", 205. He can also jump out the gym off 1 foot, but he's a really savvy offensive player, great passer, could be a potential great assist turnover ratio in the future. Anyway, enough about Skylar Mays. He's my guy. I would never forgive myself if he popped off and I didn't at least buy some of his super high-end cards. So the Skylar Mays cards will not be the highlight of this mail day, I assure you. Starting with card number 1 in the PWCC vault. This was a big one that I was very happy to pick up in a private deal off of social media, Instagram, if I recall. It's a BGS minimum gem, linchpins, Michael Jordan from the 1998 Metal Universe set. Brilliant card. For those of you who are not familiar with this card, these are little punched in, screw looking die cuts throughout the card. I counted them one time. I actually did a video on this card and explore the card episode. If you want to go check that playlist on my channel, it comes out every Friday, but this card was featured on one of those deep dive Jordan insert episodes. I just think it's an absolutely beautiful card featuring Jordan in his Concord 11s. I already owned a BGS 8.5 copy of this card, which I will now move over to the PWCC auction and or try to sell on social media or sell privately to avoid some fees. A nice happy upgrade from a BGS 8.5 to a BGS 9.5 on that card. Next on our mail day is card number 2 in order, but not card number 2 in priority. Everybody should be familiar with this one. This is going to be one of the biggest moves I've made in the hobby. It's a big step forward in my 1997 Metal Universe set chase. I've had a lot of very savvy PMG and Jordan and high-end collectors look at the card. It's been slabbed, authentic, altered by BGS. And for those of you who don't know what that means, this is the only blue label authentic altered BGS card I own. Picked this up in the PWCC. Actually, I picked this one up, I think, in the Golden auction. For what I thought was a low price. Just to give you a heads up, the last PSA 4 copy of this card sold, I think, for $225,000. So my move on this card is to pick it up in this BGS slab. I tried to identify how the card was altered, whether it was trimmed, whether it was recolored. Those are usually the two usual suspects for why a card is marked altered. Me and none of the experts that I've sent the card to have really been able to identify what the alteration might be. In fact, there is some thought, and maybe this is just me being overly optimistic, that sometimes BGS accidentally identifies a PMG from 97, a PMG card, as altered when in fact it is not. So I've got a decision to make. I've got 3 options. I can leave it in this BGS blue authentic altered slab as part of my set. I can crack it. The thought of doing that and sending that to PSA is very nerve-wracking. Or I can send it to PSA in this slab and ask PSA to cross it over, in which case that is more likely PSA will slap it in a PSA also authentic altered slab, which again, I still think would increase the value because PSA is sort of the preferred grader for these 97 metal universe because the red label matches the card and just because PSA is carrying, as you guys know, a pretty large premium in the hobby. The option of cracking and submitting to PSA would be in the hopes that they would just assign it a numerical grade. So I'm not sure what the play is there. I've got plenty of time to think about it. It's tucked safely in my vault with my other PMGs. So again, I own, I think, 4 Kobe cards in my entire collection of like 3,000, 4,000 slabs. So not a Kobe collector, but I am a 97 PMG red collector. Anyway, I'm sure everybody's going to have a lot of comments on that card and that purchase. Next is a card that I pulled out of a Raw collection. Some of you may have seen our reveal videos. This is a card that was in a Raw collection that I purchased, and I sent this off to PSA about 15, 16 months ago. Came back a PSA 9. I like this card. It's kind of got that lenticular cover, just like the old Hot Numbers inserts did, and the Thrill Seekers. But this came back a PSA 9, which I was relatively happy with. This card, like most LeBron commodity type cards, is taking a huge dip in value, so it is what it is. Next is Pop 2, none graded higher. I'm happy to own, I guess I would say, the greatest Christian Laettner rookie card in existence. Well, the second greatest Christian Laettner rookie card in existence. I'm sure there's a, not rookie card, but card in existence. I'm going to assume the PMG green is the best card out there. I haven't looked at pop reports to see if there is a green, but this is a red and it's in the highest grade there is. I also own a raw red that's sitting in my vault that I will also send to PSA and then look to sell. But another step forward in the PMG set chase, which I'm having to chill a little bit on because the prices have gone a little bit ballistic on me. So I'm probably going to take a little breather and wait until after the National and then kind of resume my set chase. Next on the list is a pretty simple one. Another card that came out of that Raw collection that I purchased. I won this in the draft. If you haven't seen the video where I do my PSA grade reveal, and then my business partner Brian B. Gilgis Alexander on Instagram, we drafted cards. This was one of the Jordans that I pulled. I didn't have this card in a PSA 10. It's a baby Jordan. It's probably a $100 card. Happy to put that in the collection from 91 Upper Deck. It's actually a checklist card, but for those of you who know, anybody who collects Jordan, the checklists count, right? So you got to grab those Jordans and put it in your collection as well. And then next is a super baby card, a little 1995 Collector's Choice Michael Jordan card, where he's going up over over Sean Bradley to finish at the rim. I'm guessing Sean Bradley tries to block that, but gets called for a foul, whether it was a foul or not. Next on the list is a John Wallace 6.5, none graded higher. So I'm again guessing this is probably the second best John Wallace card in the world. I guess you could include Essential Credentials maybe or something like that in there, but really high grade for the John Wallace PSA 6.5, 97 PMG. Next, Roy Rogers, same thing. It's a population 1 of 3. There are 3 graded higher, so nothing special here. It wasn't like I was looking to find the greatest Roy Rogers card. I just wanted one slab and a PSA holder to add to my set to check that box off and fill that void. You can see, I think that's Bryant Reeves underneath him. I really can't tell. I would have thought he'd be a lot fatter than that. It doesn't look like Reeves on the back of his shirt. Maybe that's not Bryant Reeves. Who's another white guy that played for the original Vancouver Grizzlies team? Not sure. Comment below if you can identify that white dude under Roy Rogers. And it looks like Roy is about to goaltend that ball. Roy Rogers was actually a really good player, good defensive center at Alabama, if I recall. Let's see. Let's double check that. Yeah, Alabama. So born in 73, so he's a year older than me. But put up 163 blocks in his first season. Interesting. Anyway, that's it, guys. So got the 2 Skylar Mays raw that I'm happy to put in hand, waiting for him to pop. And if he gets a permanent position in the NBA, I'll probably send those to PSA just to keep those forever. I might even reach out to Skylar and give one of those to him, see if I can bring him into the collecting world with us. We got the Lynchpins Jordan, the big Kobe PMG red. Let me know in the comments. I really do want to solicit your thoughts on what you think about that card and what you would do if you were me. Remember, I'm not a Kobe collector. Obviously, that's a pretty big Kobe card, and it was a necessary card to complete the set. It's one of the 3 big ones, along with Jordan and Tim Duncan. So let me know what you think I should do with that blue label authentic altered Kobe right there. I've got the LeBron PSA 9. I got the Laettner PMG. the 2 Jordan babies that I had to add to my collection, so they'll sit next to all my other little baby Jordans from the 90s and the junk wax era. And then we've got our John Wallace and Roy Rogers PSA cards that will slide neatly into my set. That's it, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. I try to keep these things short. I just hit the 10-minute mark, so almost got it done. And stay tuned for more mail days. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do all kinds of really cool content. I really do canvas a large breadth of the hobby. It is all basketball, but really wide variety of videos all the way back from vintage up through the 80s and 90s with a heavy lean on Jordan and 90s cards. And then also tons of ultra modern prospecting and investing, videos from 2012 forward. So I like to invest and I like to collect, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there. It's not always one or the other. Sometimes it's both, and that's made me a lot of friends in the hobby, and I've got lots of conversations going with true collectors and just pure investors, and then everything in between like me. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. Thanks for everybody that's subscribed. I think we're about to hit the 700 subscriber mark, which is crazy for 3.5 months. My goal was to get to 500 before 1 calendar year. So I started in, I think, December, if I recall. So we're getting a lot more subscribers, and again, that's not my goal. I want people who want to see what I'm putting on here. So you're not going to see any giveaways or anything, or any tricks or buying any subscribers. I don't even know how to do all that, but I know people do. That doesn't really mean a lot to me. I'm not doing this to make money or anything like that. I'm just doing it because I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I love to talk about cards, and there's only a few guys down here that are good friends of mine that I can talk to about cards. And so that's what these videos are for. This is my outlet to talk to the hobby and stay part of the hobby, since we don't have a lot of shows and a lot of collectors down here. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.